courses to browbeat the students into their best performance and behaviour. Jez returned her attention to Augum and raised a single eyebrow. Battle teleport. The extension was a quicker version of the standard teleport spell, requiring less focus, ideal for battle, but its range was limited to line of sight. Jez, really, he's going to bleed. Shut it, Burns, Jez snapped without looking at her. You're about to go on the quest of your lives, so we don't have time for coddling. Knowing how to teleport at a moment's notice is critical for your journey, and seeing as how I took on the primary responsibility of mentoring you on the spell, I expect you to do as I say without whining. Now, Stone, Lyra's injured and you need to teleport to save her life. Put your grown-up robe on, focus through the pain and envision yourself by her side. Remember everything you've been taught. Don't rush it like you usually do, and just try not to screw it up again. Augum looked uncertainly at Lyra, standing 10 feet away. She wore a pair of light silver spectacles that accented her sharp brows. The oval lenses were already dirty, even though he had recently cleaned them for her. Despite her protestations, he thought they looked so cute that every time he laid eyes on her, he wanted to kiss her, even now as he stood in agony. Jez still held her iron gaze on Augum. Jones, stop dawdling like a hen waiting to lay an egg and skip off 100 feet, would you? Right, sorry. Lyra shot off to stand a ways down the polished floor. They were in the port trainer, as Lyra called it, for she had started shortening the name of the spell once they'd begun learning it. The Academy training room was vast and ancient, with platforms ascending into infinity. The platforms were spread further apart the higher up they went, so that warlocks had to truly push themselves to achieve success, at the possible cost of a limb or perhaps their life, for countless stories existed of warlocks appearing in mid-air before plummeting to their death. Obstacles were scattered on the platforms, live trees growing in huge pots, tiny houses, chairs, carts, barrels, troughs, and so on. Obstacles one would encounter in the field. And because teleportation required warlocks to have been in the exact spot before, portals connected each platform so they could visit prior to teleporting, satisfying the requirement. Nearby stood Arcaner Dragoons Bridget Burns, Yengo Okeke, and Laudine Cooper, the latter pair having passed their own Arcaner trials recently, an arduous affair that caused much anxiety in those waiting around for them to return, and much celebration when they eventually did. Arcanist Ordred was also there, wearing the customary black Arcanist robe, and his healing skills had oft come into use. I said 100, Jones, not 50, Lyra muttered under her breath and ran further away. Now, hop to it, Stone. Jez grinned at her own pun. Augum closed his eyes and tried his best to concentrate through the throbbing pain. He tried not to think of the wood so seamlessly fusing with his flesh, the searing sensation worming its way into his soul, the acid doubt that had leached its way into his casting ability. You won't have time to meditate in battle, kiddo. Jez rhythmically snapped her fingers to accent her points. It's got to be reflexive and precise, fluid and instinctive. Let's go already, we've got a ball to primp for. Ignoring her, Augum finished the mental exercises that prepared the complicated spell. As always, visions of past failed teleportations broke into his mind like burglars in the night, interrupting his focus. He saw himself upside down in a trough, undergarments exposed as the audience at his manhood ceremony laughed at him. That awful memory was followed by another, escaping the Lord of the Legion's clutches, only to teleport into a wall, smashing his body so violently that he broke half his bones. Impetus peragro, he incanted. He felt a massive cold pull in his arcanery, and his body getting yanked as the space around him morphed. He popped back into existence a moment later by Lyra's side. Except this time, his right foot exploded with pain and he stumbled to the floor, as if caught in a bear trap. When he inspected the source of the pain, he saw that his toes had fused with the floor. Unnamables, help me. I'm an idiot, he muttered, sitting up and gripping both injured legs. Oh, for the love of... Arcanist Ordred, would you please see to the hapless fool? Certainly, Miss Turse. Ordred and his apprentice, Yengo, strode over to Augum. Augum glanced at the grizzly and saw that he was leaving, shaking his head with disappointment. Great. Lyra kneeled beside Augum.